MillaMix, famously known with a large collection of hit songs to his credit, the reputable hitmaker has stamped his creative expertise into hit songs from artists like Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido, DJ Neptune, Falls, Benson, Bella Shmurda, Kiss Daniel, Edgy Baby, Iyenyo, Era Star, and many more. In a recent talk with Afrobeat producers, Milla talks about the magic he brings into mixing and mastering, answering heart-burning questions from aspiring music producers and sound engineers.
These vocals already sounding like Portable is being strangled right now. When the person starts sounding like they are strangling the person, just know that you are killing somebody somewhere. Sometimes there are some instrumentals that don't have the body, you can't do it. Bro. Even if you do BBL, they won't get body.
Damn, that's massive, baby.
Tone selection is another factor of the body you're looking for. So I don't know where you get your samples from. Surest place is Afrobeat producers. Some people just open their mouth and tell you, oh, I mix for XYZ $1,000 because they heard that Uncle Lagwaja is mixing for XYZ $1,000. No, I can remember when I was collecting 5,000 naira to mix a song, and I saw a growth, and it's because if you mention my name in Africa, you already know that, oh, there's quality from this place.
If there was an emergency here right now, and you are to choose only one equipment to take out, which of these your equipment will you take?
Oh, well. If I can't take the studio, I'll die with it.
Afrobeatproducers.com.
MillaMix.
Hi guys, my name is MillaMix. I welcome Afrobeat producers to my studio today. They have come to invade my privacy, but there's no problem. I'm here to answer their questions. So let me show you some few things in my session. Mixing in mono is actually a very good technique. First, to check balance. Secondly, to check phase issue. Thirdly, to properly help you pan well, especially for the balance. It's usually good to, once in a while in your mix, collapse your mixes to mono so you can see how they translate even in mono speakers. And mono is just pretty much collapsing your left signal, your right signal into one signal. That's pretty much what mono is. So if everything you have on your left and right can play well without interfering with each other and the mono, then you're good. So it helps you check phasing issues. You realize that in this era where people just get loops from anywhere, any platform, most times this loop have phasing issue already before it's being uploaded to their sites. So once you put it in your song, you realize that when you collapse the left and the right signal together, you might not hear the loop again. I'll give you an example of this song. The name of this song is Angle 90. It's by Big Clef featuring Portable. The main pad, that will be this guy. Now, this pad is playing in mono. If I take it back to stereo, you hear it. Bringing it back to mono, you almost don't hear it. This pad has a little bit of phasing issue, and I couldn't fix it because it was just a filler in the mix. So there was no point fixing it. But sometimes you need like a phase cancellation plugin that can help you cancel the phase and bring back the original feel of your sound. So if I will explain further what phasing means, is when the left side is bleeding into the right side and the right side is bleeding into the left side. So what the plugin will do is shut down one side and make the other side shine. Still talking about phasing issue, and one of the benefits of mixing in mono is that if you collapse these two signals, left and right, together, and you balance and you are sure that you can hear all the elements properly in mono, there's a tendency that when you open it back in stereo, you won't have panning issue. You have a very wide mix that is translating from end to end. So most times that's my major trick. That's the only trick I use. I collapse in mono, do all my balancing. Then once I open it up, the feeling is always crazy. I love the feeling because when I open it up, you just feel like you are opening up heaven's gates. Let me give you an example. If you can see in this mix, once I open it up, I will A/B mono and stereo. If you're listening to it in like a proper stereo speaker, you've already feel that openness and that wideness from the instrumental. Here you have it. If you try to mix in mono, you can thank me later. Making a vocal sit well in a mix is approached in different ways. First, when you're mixing a song, you don't mix it like you're mixing an instrumental. You mix a song with the vocal in view so that you are keeping a space for the vocals to sit in it. You mix a song having that vocal, especially the lead vocal, in mind. If I will use an EQ to measure it, mostly I need to create a space around 500 hertz to 3000 kilohertz just for the vocals to sit in the mix. There are other tricks that people use. I've used it in recent time. It's like using suits to create that space so that when the vocals is playing, your instrumental ducks a little bit for the vocals to sit in it. I would demonstrate. I didn't use it for this song because I already balanced it to fit the vocals. Here we go. Create a bus for just the music. That's the accompaniment. I call it ACC. If you are familiar with my session, you know that ACC is just the music. So I put suit on there. By the way, this suit, God bless the people that made it. Then if I was to use my lead vocals, I go to my lead vocals, create a bus, send my lead vocals to that bus. Call it VOOOOO. Mind you, I'm terrible in labeling things. Trust me. So because we just need the signal from this vox, this lead vocal bus we just created, because we just need just the signal, we don't need the input, we don't need anything from it, it's just the signal. We're going to put it off, like the output, no output. So it's not translating to anything volume for us. So it's created on bus 17, send bus 17 to it. What I did now was I held option, then I clicked it to take it to 0 around here. Then put it in a pre-fader. Now, go back to the suit we created earlier on that was on just the music. So I chained this suit to our newly created bus, which is bus 17, that is from the lead. Now, then hit the sidechain button. What will happen is it will create space automatically for the vocals to sit in the mix.
I'm go 90, plenty babes and the guys steady balling. Sweet vibes and the DJ never darling. Nobody wanna leave her till early in the morning. Every night, every day, I love. I know they look, cause I know what.
So the signal you can see from the suit is from the vocals. It is creating space for the vocals to sit when the music is playing. That way, it can help you make your vocals sit inside the mix. Try this, thank me later. Compressor is actually a very tricky topic and very broad for that matter, because there are different compressors that do different things at different times. I mean, I've explained different type of compressor in my course. If you want to learn that, you know what to do, write the course. But now I'll be explaining how to hear an over-compressed or under-compressed. So what I'm going to do now is strip these vocals off everything. Then we'll just work on the compression. And you see when I exaggerate the compressor and when I don't even have enough to compress. But just to make you understand something, for those people that use presets, sometimes times you throw a preset on the vocals and the compressor is not doing anything. At that point, you're actually not doing anything. When the signal is not entering the compressor, I don't know why the compressor is there. Maybe it's just to fill it up so you see a lot of plugins and feel like, hey, you're working hard. If that helps your ego, fine, trust me, you can leave it there. But you have to understand that compressor needs something to work on. There are some compressors that actually prefer hotter signal for them to work to their full potential. Like I said, we're going to strip all these effects, then focus on the compression on this song. So I'm going to be focusing on just the vocals. I want to believe that one of the most tricky aspects of a song to compress is the vocals. So let's focus on just the vocals.
Say no to bad energy, yeah, Allah, forgive me, have mercy on me, elevate me, protect me. 99 advice I
have to add one more thing. It's not a crime to stack compressors. You can stack compressors and make them do tiny, tiny bits of compression for you to achieve what you want. In this case, I used different type of compressors. A multi-band compressor to easy compressor. The major compressor here is this LA2A by Universal Audio, and it's the one doing the heavy lifting. So when the vocals came in, it came in like this.
Say no to bad energy, yeah, Allah, forgive me, have mercy on me, elevate me, protect me. 99 advice I want help out, bad energy,
straight out, you just hear that the vocal does not have that consistency. And that is one of the major reasons why we're using compressor on vocals. We need that consistency from the beginning to the end. It needs to sound solid. There's no low and high period. It's just going to sound as a whole. So the LA2A will help us. First of all, the RVox just helped us first to bring the vocals to some sort of consistency where the LA2A is not doing too much to get it balanced.
Say no to bad energy, yeah, Allah, forgive me, have mercy on me, elevate me, protect me. 99 advice I want help out, bad energy, somebody tún lè ṣe somebody dá lérò, bad energy, Akoti later is a superstar, bad energy,
What I did on these vocals is just playing the compressors, just what the compressor is doing. When I added the RVox, it gave me a little bit of gain. I just want consistency, not volume. And I came back to the LA2A, added more consistency, then reduced and took it back to the original way the vocal was. So I know I'm not being deceived with volume, because that can happen and make you feel like, oh, I have consistency, but you just have a loud vocal that will jump out of the mix when you're mastering. So let's try and overdo it and see what we get.
Say no to bad energy, yeah, Allah, forgive me, have mercy on me, elevate me, protect me. 99 advice I want help out.
Let me throw in another compressor. Let's do isotope.
Say no to bad energy, yeah, Allah, forgive me, have mercy on me, elevate me, protect me. 99 advice I want help out, bad energy.
The best way to even explain over compression, especially in vocals, is when the person starts sounding like they are strangling the person, just know that you are killing somebody somewhere, because these vocals already sounding like
bad energy, yeah,
whatever is being strangled right now. That's like the best way to actually explain it. Then if we're not compressing, the vocals might just be all over the place. High lows, and that's it. You can try, use the compressors to fit the song, put it in context of your music and see where it gets you, and you can thank me later. Problematic frequencies can come from different angles in your mix, can come from the drums, snare, kick, bass, lead vocal, backup, anywhere. But today we're using vocals. Now, in the context of this mix, there were some problematic frequencies that I had to deal with, but just tiny, tiny bits. So I can't really call them problematic. I just knew there were frequencies that came from maybe the texture of the person singing or the microphone. Mostly guys that use this isolation, whatever, 4, whatever you guys call it, to record. It creates this vibe that becomes problematic in the mix. So the best tool to use to find it will be EQ. There's some EQ that you have to use your ear to listen. There's some EQ that have analyzers that you can just see the spike already on the EQ, like far filter and isotope. But there's some EQ you have to actually listen to it. If not, you won't get it. Yeah, but one of the major things you can do is get the EQ, narrow your Q in a particular frequency, then swipe around from, say, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz and just look for where the signal hurts more, where it hurts your ear more. And you can do that in a +6 or -6 dB gain so that you can actually get it right. In this case, let me solo this guy.
Every night.
Before
every night,
before I found this place, I increased the volume, the gain of that place to like a +6 dB. It sounded like this. It was rumbling, so I knew it was a problem. Then on the high side,
the more you look,
then
every night, every day.
And while doing this, you have to do it in context of the music, so you're not taking away from the energy of the original song.
Every night, every day, Jailo. The more you look, the less you find for Lagos. Every night, every day, Jailo. I know they look, cause I know what I'm looking for.
EQ is your friend. Don't run away from EQ. Thank me later. Putting body in your mix, as people call it, adding body weight, just making it feel like robust or something, is a lot of factor. There's not just one thing that you have to do that will just bring body to your mix. Now, you have to start thinking of it from the beginning of the mix. So that makes everything you do intentional, like balancing, gain staging, panning, most especially panning. Panning can give you that body you're looking for. Then sometimes there are some instrumentals that don't have the body. You can't do it. Even if you do BBL, they won't get body.
Damn, that's massive, baby.
But yeah, miracles can happen during mastering. But balancing will give you that body you're looking for. Then tone selection, very important. Tone selection is another factor of the body you're looking for. So I don't know where you get your samples from. Surest place is Afrobeat producers. When mastering your song, there's an industry standard LUFS is from -7 LUFS to -9 LUFS. That can pass like for loudness. That's actually very loud. Although Spotify expects you to submit your song in -14 LUFS. So it's just better to put it in -9. My mixes are like max -8. I see some people that push it to -7, but mine don't. Max -8, but it's normally on -9. So it's not far from what the DSPs want, and it's not far from what you would like in your car. So it's in that middle. So because I've been clipping at every stage in my mix, even when the algorithm decides to bring my -9 back to -14, it doesn't really affect the quality. So if you follow my footstep, I think -9 is safe, and I have this app I use, Ulin, and it helps me get a -9 LUFS. Now I'm in the mixing stage, so I might not really get the -9 LUFS.
Every night, every day, Jailo. The more you look, the less you find for Lagos. Every night, every day, Jailo. I know they look, cause I know what I'm looking for.
So from my mix, I'm getting around minus.
Every night, every day, Jailo.
I was getting around -12 when I removed the God particle from there, because I like to hear it in the context of the song being mastered. So I know what I'm dealing with, or I can project what I'll be dealing with from my mix. So, but originally it's -18. Try it. Thank me later. Key things you need to become a successful sound engineer. Number one, we all have it, but we all don't make money from it. It's a pair of ears. So you have your ear, you can hear, everybody listen and they can hear, but not everybody makes money from it. So you have a set of good ears so that you can listen to problems and fix them in a mix. That's like the first stage. If you are able to spot problems in a mix, then yeah, you are qualified for the job first. Then consistency and never settling for less. Not settling for less in the sense that you have to maybe quarrel with people. Settling for less in your job, in your mixing. Sometimes it takes me like 4 to 5 mixes to achieve one mix. And people don't know it, but I do it and I send it out. It's just me being a perfectionist and trying to get that quality that will make me stand out. Yeah, consistency can get you there. Don't deceive yourself. You have to be able to A/B what you're doing and what is out there. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's not wrong, then you're good. One of the major challenges that I would say first is meeting up with a lot of people's deadlines, because A and B and C and D, they need their correction done today, meaning that you have to be available for A, B, C, D, E people at the same time. So that's like a major problem, to be able to clock in this song, clock out, clock in the other song, clock out, clock in this song and clock out, and actually give them the best of what they want. It might sound very easy, but sometimes it's mentally draining. Sometimes when you finish that day, trust me, your sleep is going to be crazy. And secondly, for me today is having to blend Lagos, Nigeria, and music and family into one context. It's crazy. I promise you. If you have stayed in Lagos, you will know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Pricing and mixing, it differs from people to people. Some people just open their mouth and tell you, oh, I mix for XYZ $1,000 because they heard that Uncle Lagwaja is mixing for XYZ $1,000. No, you have to factor in production costs. What does it take you to mix a song? If you have to travel 7 seas to buy fuel, power your generator, and how much you buy your generator, and your rent and blah, 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 blah. You factor all of those things into the price, not on one person. We're not saying that on one person you give them your house rent. Nah. Spread it in 6 months or 1 year based on the average of mix you do in a month. That way you can get like a fair price where you're not chasing people away and you're collecting normal price that can sustain you and sustain your business. Then as you grow in the business, there's now your value, your status, your name, do you understand? And your position in the music industry. I can remember when I was collecting 5,000 naira to mix a song, and I saw it grow from 5,000 till date. I won't tell you the price. I'm gonna call my manager. But yeah, I saw it grow, and it's because if you mention my name in Africa, you don't need to explain too much. You already know that, oh, there's quality from this place, and I've worked hard for it, so I need to eat from it. So I often get these royalty questions a lot, and people say, oh, bro, I mixed 200 million songs for this artist and they didn't even give me XYZ. So you need to understand what qualifies you to collecting royalties first, especially publishing. Publishing is split into two: the songwriter and the producer. These are the two people that created that music. So if you don't have creative content in it, mind you, as a mixing engineer, you're just enhancing people's creativity. So if you don't have that creative content in it, you're not eligible to get royalty from it, except they offer you. You can have like a roundtable conversation like, oh, I don't want you to pay me for this. I want you to factor me into one of the people that's going to benefit from the royalties. Now that can work. I have some songs too that are there that I'm collecting royalties. That's because I didn't collect my payments in the initial time when the song was released. Yeah, that's another way an engineer can collect royalties. So people think that getting like hardwares and all those things will get you the best of the best mix. Nah, like I've mentioned before, your ear is like your major, that's the most expensive tool, the most expensive equipment. Fortunately, you don't have to buy it. But after that, there's now a need to, let's push further. There's nothing that you cannot do with plugins. Guys that mix in the box are doing well. Most of the plugins are hardware emulation. So people are saying, oh, if I can afford the real deal, why go for the emulation of the real deal? So that's where people now go to buy hardwares. It's not that they can do better than you. They just want the real thing. And sometimes these hardwares can maybe enhance it a little bit, but it's not like a night and day difference that will make your in the box mix shitty. then I usually get those questions. So if I want to start buying hardwares, was like the first one to buy. So first, audio interface. Then secondly, if you can afford like a summing mixer is like one of those early things you should buy at the beginning of your mixing. If you want to actually start feeling like you are using a console or getting the feel of a console, then from there, you can start going from maybe like a color box, like the MBT, the Fusion, bus compressors and all of that. So, but you can start with a summing. Summing is like your first.
If there was an emergency here right now, and you are to choose only one equipment to take out, which of these your equipment will you take?
Well, if I can't take the studio, I'll die with it. The emergency can kill me too. I mean, if there was an emergency in my studio and I have to pick one equipment, I will tell you the truth. If I can't pick all the equipment, I'll have to go with the emergency. We'll die there because I'm attached to all my equipment and I knew how I changed Naira to dollar to buy this equipment. So the emergency can as well just take me. I'm part of the equipment. So let us all go. One of the major problem balancing this work and every other thing that's happening outside the studio, like normal life and real life and family, village people factored into it. It's crazy. I think somebody should write a book about it because it can be overwhelming sometimes. But another problem is people outside music don't think that we are doing work. We are working. They feel like we are just chilling, playing with our mouths, just playing with sounds. The picture they have in the studio is these people are just playing loud music, turning up and having fun. So that make them don't think that we are working. But yes, I'm still trying to get a balance because every day actually comes with different challenges. But what you should know is you need to set a particular time for work. So for me, I've decided to move my work time from mostly 2 to 5 a.m., 2 p.m. to 5 a.m. I should be working. Then from 5 a.m. till 2, anything my village people have to do, they want to do with me, they can have me. But they should release me by 2 because I'm back to this space and I'm working.
If you are to advise your younger self right now, what would you tell him?
Don't rush. I'll tell my younger self, don't rush, calm down. That's it, because there's a whole lot of panic when putting in the work, when trying to grow in the business. There's too much panic that made me make some decisions that took time to correct. But just don't rush. One final word for you guys, especially the recording engineer. You see, there's no red cloth on my head. I'm not a babalawo. Do you understand? Record properly. Send it to us. We'll enhance it and make it well. But yeah, apart from that, just keep doing what you're doing. Make sure it's up to standard. Trust me, you might just be the next Milla.
Afrobeatproducers.com